Hello, I'm Bret and you're watching The Defining Moment for Creating the Culture of Conscience. Our guest today is Felix G. Winston II. He's a member of the Bahá'í Faith and serves as the chairman of the Interfaith Council at California State University, Northridge. Felix is a retired businessman who was born and raised in Arkansas and has lived over 50 years here in Southern California. Felix is married, he has a son and a granddaughter. Felix Winston, welcome to The Defining Moment. It's really a pleasure for me to welcome you here to our studio today.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Thanks for coming. Our topic today is unity, a core principle in the Baha'i Faith. And I want to begin by giving you an opportunity to briefly share a defining moment from your own life which has influenced you in becoming who you are today.
Thank you. That's a pleasant chore. As I think on it, it's also definitely a defining moment because it's so exciting. 1965, I was doing business, had business, but 17 people on the payroll. And in October, I received a notice that I was having a divorce pending. And that was the most shocking moment of my life at that time. One son, wife, business. And as I look on that, because of the sensation I experienced from the shock, it changed my life. Because I was doing what I was doing as a businessman because I had some other aspirations that I wanted to fulfill as a person. And I had started to substitute the business that I was in to something that I felt could be an avenue for employing people and not really a fulfillment. But after doing it for so long, you become immune to things that you were really caught up in and wanted to do. So as a result of that, when this happened, I was shocked into recognizing that I was on the wrong path because there was no real fulfillment. I was successfully doing what I was doing, money, business, car, buy anything I wanted, and take care of my needs. But I really was not happy, and I'd forgotten that because it had taken me away from what I thought my life should and wanted to be. And that set me in a different direction because I started recognizing that you're not doing what you want to do, but you're making out, and I'd forgotten how that worked. But this divorce proceedings are, unfortunately, for me, I lost a grip on what I was doing, and so to maintain myself, it was kind of a downward spiral. But at no time during that time did I ever feel that all was lost. My attitude was one of, it's going to work out okay. And I had no idea, no plan of how it's going to work out okay, but I was just thinking that all the time. And in doing that, I went through several years of a downward spiral. The people who had been friends before or been affected in some way didn't know me. And I literally experienced a real continuing shock that I had no friends or people who I was previously associated with. But I did turn to a avenue of searching myself and what I really wanted to do. And I had been reading the Baha'i teachings, the Baha'i faith, for about 9 years. So after a while I said, where are the Baha'is? Because I remembered that I had been influenced by what I had been reading, but I'd never joined or declared or anything like that because I didn't need to. That's really how I assess it now. I didn't need to. I had things going well, and so who needs, I guess you might say, who needs religion? And this shock, this experience created for me, in me, with me, a sense of focus and determination to pick myself up. And I never felt I was down. But it also, when you experiencing this, you recognize that there is a difference. And it's a difference that you had already made the determination about earlier, but the circumstances weren't there. So this shock turned me to find what is specific about life, what's worthwhile, what's important, that I thought I knew already because I was making a lot of money. So I would say that was really a defining moment to turn me into a kind of an approach to life that has provided me with the impetus to dig into the spirituality of who and what I am. And I've been on that path ever since.
Okay, well, that's very poignant, very moving testimony. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I appreciate that. Please share with our viewers, what is your understanding of God according to the teachings of the Baha'i Faith?
Very good. The pivot of the Baha'i Faith is unity. The prophet founder of the Baha'i Faith says that we need unity in the human race. Come together and consult, and after consultation, then all act according to the decision that has been arrived at by the consultation. The thing that attracted me, and this is what I'm speaking out, because there's no clergy in the Baha'i Faith, and there's no proselytizing, you don't join the Baha'i Faith. You discover it, and you share with those who practice it. And particularly, the most important thing is that the direction to the Baha'i teachings is independent investigation of truth. And as you do this, you discover that which can be a transforming experience, guidance for your life, and most of all, the ability and the confidence and the desire to share what you are, who you are, with humanity. With that thinking, with that approach, the Baha'i Faith says there's one God, one humanity, one religion. Not to confuse religion being traditional practices of religion, but the essence of religion is the same with all of the messengers of God. Baha'i embrace the concept of what we call progressive revelation. Every civilization has experienced the benefit of a teacher, of a seer, of a prophet from God. Progressively, as we move through civilizations, we find that the same message has been given, and progressively there has been additional information from prophets that have come in succession. The Baha'is embrace the reality that today it's the practice of the same obedience to the Word of God. And what has been, if you would say added, is that there has been a dimension for the change in the social system because of additional information. Today, we've seen the scientific order, the technology order that has caused an explosion of events and circumstances and added benefits, if you will. And the Baha'i subscribes these with dates. 1844, the gate to the Baha'i messenger, is known as the Bab, appeared. And with his appearance, there was an increase in the reality of civilization of the world, of the universe. And there was an explosion in terms of the scientific discovery and information, way of life. And with the information technology, as a result of the increased insight, the increased information from God, there has been enlightenment. And it can be looked at in the sense of how it contributes to well-beingness, or how does it provide us with evidences of how it can be destructive because of the information. So the Baha'i Faith simply offers the insight as a tool that anyone can embrace for the transforming of the life for well-beingness, not as a sense of this is better than that, but it's available to anyone who embraces it. So the Baha'is do not offer a membership in a community because it has more or better than, but simply the truth that's revealed by every messenger in every age. There's a very common thought that's beheld by most people, and it's the golden rule. We'll find that in Hindu, Judaism, Muslim, Buddhist, Christian. It's a thread that ties together the same kind of recognition of what's available to all of us. And it comes from, and we think of terms of the progressive revelation, which points to the oneness of God, the oneness of religion, the oneness of humanity, the oneness of the wind, the oneness of water. The wind in South Africa is the same wind that's in Northridge. Water in the Pacific is the same as the water in the Atlantic. But we have these identifying marks for our own recognition, when in fact it's all the same. So religion in self and what it engenders is, the Baha'is embrace as one. Everything that we behold comes from the energy of thought, or the thought of energy. What we manifest, what we implement, is a thought first. And as we do this in human relations, in a spiritual sense, if we think about the brotherhood, then we will behave in this manner. And it becomes a premises for a world peace. And so that's basically where the Baha'i Faith helped me, is to recognize that we are all one.
Okay, very, very interesting, very profound. Thank you. Please share with us something more about the origins of the Baha'i Faith. When did it come into being? Tell us more about the founder of your religion. What are some of the roots of your faith?
Good. The precursor, the gate, as John the Baptist is thought of in terms of the gate for Christ. It was known as the Bab, a 25-year-old merchant in Iran who started the preaching about the new day. And he's recognized as a gate for the founder of the Baha'i Faith, which is known as Baha'u'llah. And his date recognized as the declaration of the Bab is May 23rd, 1844. And as a prolific teacher and a very profound, dedicated follower, and with the persons who were attracted to him, who were many in numbers, and the elite in terms of the learned of Persia, who followed him to martyrdom. And in 1852, there appeared a nobleman known as Baha'u'llah. Baha'u'llah means glory of God. And he was persecuted, imprisoned, and sent into exile. His teachings embrace the concept of unity, universal spiritual principles. And this is the foundation of the Baha'i faith, is the teachings of Baha'u'llah. There are many books he's called tablets that he's written, espousing the concepts of unity and well-beingness. He lived until 1892, and there were small followers, but it is spread now for many countries. As a matter of fact, it's the most widespread of any faith group, second to Christianity. There's a very beautiful picture. You probably have seen it, or it's the global center for the administrative activity of the world Baha'i faith. It's known as the Universal House of Justice. It's in Haifa, Israel. And it's shown as an example that can in fact be modeled as an order for global governance.
Okay, very good, very interesting, thank you. What scriptures does your faith draw from?
Interesting. The concept of progressive revelation is a presentation or an effort or a real plan so that there are no exclusions, no divine exclusion, no scriptures that have been espoused or presented by all the messengers of God are inclusive. Now we have a text called the Kitabiyatas, which is considered the book of laws and directions from the prophet. But all books that have been revealed, the Quran, the Kitabiyatas, and the other books of the Bhagavad Gita, the Bible, and they're all divinely revealed, and Baha'is recognize them as such. Therefore, we don't exclude any divine teachings.
Okay, very good. Very interesting. Thank you. What are some of the core underlying doctrines or beliefs? You've mentioned unity, which of course is very important, the topic of our show today. What other beliefs are at the core of your faith?
One God, one humanity, one religion, equality of men and women, universal education, spiritual solution to the economic problem, and we believe that the one universe presents the context for the unity of all man. Abolishment of racial prejudices. These are some of the core thoughts that motivate and cause the general spirit of the Baha'is to focus on how to establish world peace. It's about sharing and recognizing the unity of man, the oneness of God.
Now tell us, why is so much emphasis placed on the principle of unity within the Baha'i faith? Why is that so important, not only in your beliefs but in your practices?
With the apparent conflict that finds its roots in the teachings as they are presented and evolved, not in the messenger's true message. It becomes, the approach is to practice unity versus buying into what we experience as a result of better than you or better than thou or this is better, when in fact the recognition and acceptance of the unit, the individual, the human kingdom, the unity of life itself, being expressed and thought of in a sense of how to propagate, how to prop up the unity that in fact exists, and that being the answer to the conflict that arise out of the division of, I call it the flawed paradigm. But when we think of how we are together, how we are part of the same thought pattern for well-beingness, then it's imperative. It's a natural. It's a directly going to the problem by accepting the unity, and then let's work from that. Versus we got to work to get to that. And with this kind of thinking, we feel that this can, in fact, prick the thinking about the fellowship, the brotherhood. And one of the most important things is that, and we keep referring to this because everything starts with a thought, knowingly or unknowingly. And as that be the case, you're thinking unitary. How can I, simple as that, how can I participate in the unity? Then it's a decision that I make. Independent investigation of truth. And in doing that, we all participate. We all can contribute. And it doesn't become such a monumental effort toward world peace because it's a thought. Simple as that, a simple thought. That one person, which is 6 billion, one person who is thinking, that can be a better world, a better way of enjoying or appreciating the well-beingness of everyone. And the unity is at the core of that. And the unity is simply me. I'm the one, 6 billion times, who can effectively, constructively participate in the already existing unity versus finding it so overwhelming I can't participate because I can't do anything about it. When in fact that's all can happen, is that I can participate because the way I think because I accept the principles, universal spiritual principles. And by so accepting those, I can think. And whatever I do becomes a part of the unity. And the unity is no doubt the route to a better relationship. Because I share what I believe and feel. If I believe and feel that there can be a better circumstance, I think it initially. And I keep thinking it. And ad infinitum, endlessly, I keep thinking it. And it affects the environment. So the unity is the simple answer and the most profound answer. And how do you participate in it? By my participation, multiplied 6 billion plus times.
Thank you. Share with us, what are some of the other benefits? Because people are always looking for benefits for doing something. What are the other benefits of embracing a worldview based on the principle of universality and unity?
I think about terms out here like, are you alone? And what does that mean? What I find so rewarding is I don't have to deal with what if, because I've accepted that there is a plateau, there is a plan, there is a script for well-beingness. And that alone, to me, is a bonus to buy into a type of thinking or an attitude that says there is a way that I can share comfortably versus a nefarious, devious way of what we practice in most of our communities of commerce and materialism, which is focused on, when the sovereign becomes the dollar, it shifts from the sovereignty of God, and the practices then become stress-producing.
How can I manipulate the situation for selfish advantage?
Absolutely.
And that creates stress.
Stress. And so that, I think most of us are thinking about that in a very specific way all of the time, is the stress of making decisions that will make it okay, make it better, or how can I shift it so that it'll appear that it's better. But the stress is at the bottom of it because there is no commitment to well-beingness. To say that I believe in peace, world peace, is a biggie. I believe in world peace. That's a biggie. That's a start. And that's well-beingness that produces a good result. That's a goodie. To get that is a goodie.
Okay. Well, on that note, Felix Winston, I want to thank you so much for having been our guest today on The Defining Moment. It's really been a pleasure for me to listen to you, your insights and your wisdom, and I look forward to having you back on our show in the near future. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure. You've been watching The Defining Moment for Creating the Culture of Conscience. You can find us on the internet at www.definingmoment.tv. Thanks for watching and have a great day.